So what was the coaching process like for you?
It was really surprising, actually, because again, as I said, I think, I had met you and felt a lot of synergy, but I still think I thought it was going to be quite prescriptive and there would be quite a lot of rules.
It's not the person you are now, it's the person you want to be. And I think that's something coaching always helps you with. Some people might say, oh, I'm fine as I am, and I'm kind of happy with my 9 to 5 and this is what I want to be. But I think throughout the coaching process and where I was then, I don't think I would ever have my own company now if it wasn't for the coaching process.
When you were very experienced in a certain field, often you do already know the answers, but you can't see the answers. And a great coach will help you demystify a lot of those problems so you have more clarity to move forward.
Really transformative, genuinely. I think really transformative. I know that other people at work noticed the different ways in which I was showing up as coaching progressed. It's not instantaneous. You have to do your homework. You can't just show up at a coaching session and then hopefully a magic wand gets waved and somehow everything is different at work. You need to put the work in between coaching sessions, and you need to take it seriously, and you need to challenge yourself.
Well, it certainly helped me in making some quite big decisions in my career. I've lost count of the number of people now that I've said, you particularly have to go and see Rachel, but generally talk to people about how valuable coaching is. I really had no idea how deep the work would be and how much it would change me, and it really has fundamentally changed how I think about things. And I think there's tools that you learn as well that you really do end up using as a matter of course, that then you quite naturally start thinking about things in that way. It's quite hard to explain, but they're definitely quite practical tools as well that I think you can use in day-to-day challenges, which I found unbelievably helpful.
The coach doesn't give you solutions; they guide you, and I think that's one of the key things that I think is probably the biggest thing I had to understand about coaching, because I just wanted someone to give me the answers. Why isn't this working? But once you get into it and you actually realise the psychology behind it and the process behind it, it's fascinating, because you need to hear it from yourself. And with your clean language, when you hear it back upon yourself, you then you have that time to process it, actually review it, and basically realise actually what you're getting at.
It helps you realise you can transition and how to do that. And I think that's a really challenging environment for anybody to be in. And I think you can have a lot of self-doubt when you're transitioning in a career, or even in a career growing within a job. I think, that you do need extra help with that sometimes in order to really be as good as you can, be your best self.
And I've found that one of the tools that we find very useful when we talk is about metaphor. And whether or not this is because I work in a creative TV industry, a lot of what we do is about metaphors. The story isn't always the story that it says on the tin, it's the subtext. And I think often the metaphors that we come up with are a very good shortcut and a tool to see the world in a slightly different way. And you can then use that metaphor to sometimes slightly stand apart from the problem and then look at it in a more strategic way.
It's not therapy. It's very different from therapy, and people need to understand it is a completely different thing than going to see a psychotherapist or a counsellor. That's a very important distinction to make, but it can be quite emotional.
It's also less personal, so people are less likely to take offence or feel like they're under attack or they're being judged, because you can use the metaphor or the simile to give a bit of distance.